Hey, what's up? It's your boy Rawk, and before you ask, honestly, what does it look like I'm doing? It's that fateful time of year once again. Time to clear our schedules, sit in the same spot for 1 to 15 hours, and watch multi-billion-dollar corporations advertise things to us. It's exhilarating. But you can't just sit there and watch these things without preparing. No. Watching an E3 show is an experience that's going to define the next 12 months of your life until the next one comes around. So they need to be watched in ideal conditions. Chairs. Yeah, they're okay. But if you have a bed, well, they're even more okay, so f*** your chair. There are 3 key attributes to proper E3 preparation. Comfort, hydration, and sustenance. And these 3 need to be balanced perfectly. Now, this balance is very delicate and can be very difficult to achieve, but with enough perseverance, you'll find a sweet spot. So if we just give it a bit of this, and there we have it, the perfect E3 watching setup. Alright, I'm ready for them to announce Chibi Robo 6. This was all for nothing! Look who came crawling back to the existence market. I think by now everyone with skin knows what E3 is. All of the big video game companies come together to announce mediocrity, mobile games and Madden. All of the events are live streamed and no matter what gets announced, somebody gets pissed about it. Now because of the conjunctivitis going around at the time, there was no E3 in 2020, which was a little disappointing, but I think I took the news pretty well. Son of a bitch! Yikes. But whatever. E3 made its triumphant return from Saturday, June 12th to Tuesday, June 15th, with a brand new format to boot. You see, the melanoma is still in the air, so while E3 can indeed return, it's definitely too soon for the traditional E3 formula to make a comeback. So this year we were treated to an all-digital show. Now I think this was absolutely fine. I wasn't personally one of the 14 people who could actually attend E3 for realsies anyway, and for the most part, I only ever watched Nintendo's shows, which are pre-recorded live streams anyways. Yeah, this year wasn't too much different for me. Now ordinarily I would probably only take a look at Nintendo's conference because... Is anybody really surprised? But this isn't just any old E3. This is E3 2021, the first show in 2 years. And that's special. So special that it's going to cost me my credibility. So despite the fact that I'm probably the least viable soul on the planet to talk about a good majority of these shows, I think I'm going to broaden my horizons a bit this year and spend an abnormally large amount of time talking about a company that didn't make this. Let me make one thing clear as day. I'm not going to be taking a look at all of the press conferences that happened. I mean, look at the list of companies who attended this year. Yeah, we're only going to be able to do some highlights here. As is tradition at this point, Sony and EA weren't at E3 this time around, which was to be expected. One of these is fairly disappointing, one is not. Guess which one's which? I couldn't give a rat's arse about EA, to be completely honest. Sports games aren't really my thing unless I can play as a green dinosaur, so I wouldn't have cared at all about the FIFA and Madden games they had to talk about. Which would have been 90% of what they showed, and even outside of that, they don't really make games that appeal to me. But enough of all this chit-chat, let's get to the actual shows. Now, obviously Nintendo is the company I can tolerate the most, so I think it's only fair if we leave them to last, to give the other guys a chance to impress me before Nintendo inevitably fails to. So let's start with Ubisoft, the first big conference of E3 2021. Now, do I have any predictions? Well, no, but I swear to God if the team behind Starlink doesn't make a Star Fox game, then I will lose my shit, and that's a promise. Ubisoft held their show on Saturday, June 12th, and I had absolutely zero expectations heading into this show, so let's see if they can impress me. The show opened up with the most surprising thing to ever be shown off at a Ubisoft conference. A new Tom Clancy trailer. Now, I've personally never gotten into a Tom Clancy game, and I think that mainly comes down to the fact that I've never seen Richard Stanford walking upstairs. Holy shit, I'm sold! They started showing off the game with a cinematic trailer, my least favourite thing to see, to be completely honest. Like, yeah, they have their value, and some of them can be absolutely incredible, but you aren't going to sell me with a CG trailer because, say what you will about its quality, it doesn't tell me what the game plays like. I was actually pretty worried that they wouldn't have a gameplay showcase, but boy oh boy was I wrong about that. They went pretty in depth into this game, and I've got to be honest, it looks pretty damn good. It's nice to see a multiplayer shooter that's a PvE. Player versus player has its merit, and games like Overwatch do it really well, but sometimes I'd much rather work together with the team to defeat a larger threat, and that's exactly what this game is. The enemies in the game have wicked cool designs, and I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm actually interested in a Tom Clancy game, Jesus Christ, having E3 back really changes a man. Next up, we have Rocksmit Plus, a sequel to a game that I didn't know existed. It seems to be a fairly robust music learning tool, focusing on the guitar. It looks really in-depth, and seems like it could legitimately be used to help someone learn music. I'd actually really like to give this thing a go, but I feel like I've kind of missed the boat on trying to learn music. I've tried in the past, but when I fall out of it, I fall out of it hard. And that would happen even more so with this because it's a subscription service. God damn it. Look, it makes sense, sure, but having this as a subscription service completely kills my interest in it. At that point, I'd rather just commission somebody to make music for me if I ever needed any. Next up, we have Riders Republic, an extreme sports take on BMX, skateboarding, and everyone's favorite Mario power-up. This game looks really fun. From what I can tell, there aren't many games that feature the non-skateboarding sports, so it's fascinating to see these sports being brought into the spotlight. The gameplay looks really fast-paced and it looks super satisfying to pull off tricks. And the races with a whole bunch of people look like they'd be really hectic, which means they'd be a blast. I like the look of this too. I've never really been into extreme sports games. I've played a whopping 17 minutes of Tony Hawk in my life. I'm certified worthless, but I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this game, and who knows? I might even buy it. We've made it half an hour into a Ubisoft conference without Rainbow Six Siege making an appearance, and that just won't do. They talk about the fact that Siege has more players than cricket, and they talk about a slew of new quality of life improvements. Honestly, that's nice to see. They then show off a trailer for a new character, and wow! I never knew it was possible for me to give less of a shit about Siege than I already did. Then we have a sizzle reel of updates coming to Ubisoft's games, and my biggest takeaway from this is that I had no idea that a game called Trackmania ever released. They then talk about Ghost Recon's 20th anniversary. They made it seem like they were going to play a trailer for an anniversary collection or something, but instead, god damn it, Just Dance 2022. Cool. Look, I get it. Ubisoft needs to have their Just Dance game every single year, but I just don't really care. I bought my first ever Just Dance game recently, and a few days later, I bought this because, man, I just had to see how the story continued. But I don't think I'm ready to jump 6 centuries forward to 2022. But who knows, I might finally buy this game in 2028. But not play it, dear god no. But the most egregious crime of this reveal is that it isn't coming to the Wii, you son of a bitch.
Hi, you've reached Ubisoft Customer Support. How may I help you today?
What the f*** is wrong with you? Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLC. Is anybody really surprised? And then they immediately start talking about their TV show and movie. Yep, good to focus on that in a video game press conference. I get that they're based on Ubisoft games, but guess who still doesn't give a piss? Here, checks out. Now it's time for some Far Cry talk.
When it comes to memorable villains, no one does it better than Far Cry.
We get a new trailer for Far Cry 6, and my only takeaway is that they like to say fucking shit and shoot old ladies in the face. Then they start talking the DLC for a game that isn't out yet. Oh boy, I can't wait to not buy 2 things! Finally, we have the closing reveal. We see a spaceship and holy shit, Mario Galaxy 3! Damn it! Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Now, the original Mario and Rabbids was leaked for months before its E3 reveal in 2017, but Ubisoft did a really good job of keeping the lid on this one. Until Nintendo f***ed it. A mere 6 hours before Ubisoft's show, Nintendo just had to update their website with info on the game. Come on, we were so close! But even though we knew about the game before its reveal, which took quite a lot of the wind out of its sails, this game looks incredible. The original was already a fantastic game, but this one seems to improve every single element of the original. The biggest improvement being that they completely retconned Yoshi from the canon. Man, I hate this stupid ass game. Well, now I'm not pissed. As a self-proclaimed enthusiast of the publisher of Geist, this was obviously my favourite reveal of the show. It's great to see the pure passion that the developers have for the project, and I genuinely can't wait to play this when it comes out in 2022. The more open worlds and less rigid turn-based gameplay looks so much more interesting than the originals, and the whole sci-fi thing they've got going on is some seriously neat shit. One complaint I've seen online is that this game feels a little too generic, not Mario enough, and my god, Nintendo can't win. When a Mario game plays it safe, it's criticised for it. When a Mario game is super out there, it's criticised for it by the same people. Pick a fucking side. Even when I'm not talking about Nintendo, I find a way to talk too much about Nintendo. And in a very Nintendo fashion, there is one more thing. That being a brand new game based on the Avatar film franchise, and honestly, that was a pretty great way to end the show. This game looks super faithful to the films, and hopefully, it'll be a good time to play. Now, I don't have a frame of reference for what I'm about to say. I've never watched a Ubisoft conference before, but on the whole, I think they did pretty good this year. Some games definitely outstayed their welcome, and pretty much every game had to do with either guns or music, so a little more variety might have been nice. But I was never bored during the show, which I think has to count for something. Now, this is the first E3 press conference I've ever talked about, and my experience wouldn't be complete without some sort of scoring system. Now, I could use my level in Banjo-Kazooie 5-point scale, but we're talking about E3, not Nintendo Land. How about we go with thrown controllers out of 7, because scoring systems don't actually matter. On to Microsoft and Bethesda, seemingly the most interesting show of the bunch because after Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda, they just kinda squished their shows together into one this year. I have no idea how that's gonna work structurally, but it's fine because they're gonna show off a new FORZA. I wasn't wrong. Microsoft held their Xbox and Bethesda games showcase on Sunday, June 13th. Now, in terms of predictions, literally all I expected was Halo and Forza because it's Microsoft. We open with a speech from Todd Howard, and my only takeaway from this was even when Bethesda doesn't have their own show, they'll still try and push the message that we can all be Bethesda if we want to. And I appreciate the sentiment, but I'd rather be happy. After its abysmal reveal at E3 2018, we finally get to see more of Starfield, Bethesda's first new IP in over 20 years. And we've waited 3 whole years for another trailer to be shit. Look, I get that the mere concept of a new Bethesda IP is exciting, but I'm sorry, you are not selling me on the game. Because you didn't show the game. If you ask me, this trailer was almost as bad as the original tease. Sure, we did get an actual cinematic this time that we can discern at least something from, but again, it's been 3 years and yet we still don't have any gameplay. That's ridiculous! I have no doubt that the game will be good, but this trailer did absolutely nothing for me. Next we have the reveal of Stalker 2. Well, that can't be good. I have the exact opposite problem with this trailer compared to Starfield. That game didn't show enough gameplay, and this one showed too much gameplay. This thing was far too long and massively overstayed its welcome. But hey, this is the first Stalker game in like forever, so good for the fans. Well, 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 would you look at that. It appears I've contracted the perfect phrase to use when talking about a trailer that I didn't have all too much to say about. I really hope I don't have to use this too often. Next we have the reveal of Back 4 Blood, something of a successor to Left 4 Dead from what I can tell, and it honestly looks pretty cool. Contraband. What the hell was that? A short cinematic trailer for a brand new game that showed a house and a logo in a box. Awful. A Sea of Thieves update bringing Jack Sparrow to the game, played by the one and only not Johnny Depp McGee. The crossover is very fitting, and if I was a Sea of Thieves fan, I'd probably love this. But I'm not a Sea of Thieves fan, so good for the fans. The Yakuza games are coming to Game Pass. Good for the fans. Battlefield 2042. Yes, the only thing I need in my life right now. Another futuristic war shooter. 12 Minutes finally shows its face again, with 38 whole seconds worth of a trailer. Microsoft's really pulling out the big guns here. It got a release date though, which is always good to see, but what isn't good to see about this game is Christ. Psychonauts 2 gets a new trailer, and good god, this game looks fantastic. I haven't played the original Psychonauts, but I really need to get on that because the sequel looks like a stellar time that I really want to play. Some Bethesda games are making their way to Xbox Series X and S with some fun new upgrades that I don't care about. And then we move on to some updates for Fallout 76. You know Fallout 76, that game that wasn't good? I would say good for the fans. If Fallout 76 had any. Elder Scrolls Online update. Good for the fans. Party animals. This looks a lot like Gang Beasts, but with corgis. I dig. Fucking hell. Hades is coming to Xbox, which is interesting to me purely because I didn't know Hades wasn't already on the Xbox. Somerville. I have absolutely no memory of seeing this game in the presentation, but it looks really solid. It looks half Metroidvania, half survival horror, and the art style is really nice. What the f*** is wrong with you? It's Halo Infinite time. After being delayed from a holiday 2020 release, it gets a really meaty trailer showing off a boatload of gameplay, and guys, I'm not a Halo fan, but this game looks fantastic. I wish I could say more about it because this was probably the biggest thing Microsoft showed, but all I can say is, good job Microsoft. Diablo 2 remake. Good for the fans. Plague Tale 2 had lots of rats. Good for the fans. Another Far Cry 6 trailer that was actually a lot different to the one shown at Ubisoft's show, but was a little too long in my opinion. Slime Rancher 2 looks precious. I haven't played the original, but the world and style of this game are gorgeous and the gameplay looks really fun. Shredder's a snowboarding game. It looks really good, I like it. I don't like that though! Atomic Heart was the most forgettable thing in this show, I have to give it that. Replaced. Stop it. For quite a bit of this trailer, I thought it was Castlevania for some reason, but no. Grounded Shroom and Doom update. I didn't even know a game called Grounded released, but the Shroom and Gloom update sold me. Among Us. Why is this in this presentation? Every single one of these features and updates was revealed a week or so before Microsoft's show. Who the hell cares? Eiyuden Chronicles looks very Octopath Traveler, good for it. The Ascent. This world is wicked! F**k off! Age of Empires. Good for the fans. The Outer Worlds 2. This trailer was very self-aware and very haha funny, which is cool. It fits the game pretty well, but I'm kinda sick of seeing trailers like this. Microsoft Flight Simulator gets a new trailer. If you can't afford to go on holiday this year, then just buy this game and hope to God you know how to fly a plane. And now, it's time for an extended on-stage demo of FORZA. Why? It's FORZA! It's the same damn game every year! To be fair, the world of this one looks really cool, but my god, I just didn't care. This section dragged for ages. But I mean, people seem to enjoy FORZA, so I'll at least give Microsoft props for that. And finally, we have the reveal for Dreadfall. And for a trailer that is purely CG and showed no gameplay at all, this went on for far too long. But conceptually it looks cool. Yay! That was Microsoft's show, and overall, I think people made a way bigger deal about this show than it deserves. It was pretty good, but it wasn't amazing by any means. There were some exciting reveals, but what the hell was up with almost every game being launch exclusives? I got traumatic flashbacks to Microsoft's 2017 show with the amount of times I saw these three words, and I didn't even watch that show! That's how you know it's bad. Having games as launch exclusives does not make me want to play them on Xbox. If anything, it makes me less likely to want to play them on Xbox. And for the people who are interested in playing them on Xbox, they were gonna buy the game on that platform regardless of whether or not it was a launch exclusive. Some trailers showed nowhere near enough gameplay, and there were only like 4 games that didn't have guns as the focal mechanic. Now I know, I'm a Nintendo bitch. So what I'm about to say might seem like I'm trying to dismiss anything that doesn't have Diddy Kong in it, but not every game has to be about shooting. I've enjoyed plenty of shooters before, but the genre was way too prominent in this presentation. But what saved this thing arguably entirely is Game Pass. 27 of the 30 games talked about here are coming to the service, and that simply can't be understated. That adds immense value to a service that is already one of the most bang for your buck things you can invest in. So this was something about the show that I absolutely can't fault. This show definitely didn't leave as big of an impression as their 2019 show, but it was still really solid. Next we have Square Enix. Oh my god, what the hell was up with this timing? 2.25 hours after Microsoft's show. That's ridiculous! Why couldn't they have had their showcase on Monday? They would have had the entire day to themselves. But you know what? It's fine, because there'll be games in a genre that I don't give a shit about. What the hell was that? I had absolutely no expectations for Square's show, and they still managed to piss me off. So let's talk about why. The show opened up with a reveal for their next Marvel game, being Guardians of the Galaxy, developed by Eidos Montreal. This game looked stellar, but not good enough to spend 20 fucking minutes of a 45-minute presentation on. This thing was here for way too long. It dragged so much, and by the time it was over, I stopped caring. I did not need to see that much of the game to be sold. My god. Holy shit, they're remastering the first 6 Final Fantasy games. That's insane. God damn it! Why the hell would you only put these games on Steam and mobile? At the very fucking least, put these games on the Switch. Jesus Christ! None of the major consoles are getting these remasters, which is absolutely fucking absurd. At the very least, the Legend of Mana remake is coming to PS4 and Switch, but that does not excuse how piss poor this decision was. Marvel's Avengers updates. Good for the fans. Nier Incarnation. This game looks great. Oh, go yourself! More mobile games, oh great! Final Fantasy Brave Exvius updates. I don't care. Why have they brought multiple mobile games to E3? That bugs me. Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier. Another mobile game. Why? Babylon's Fall looks pretty decent. They showcased it for way too long if you ask me, but it was nowhere near as grueling as Guardians of the Galaxy. And again, the game looks solid enough. I kind of have the same sentiment towards Life is Strange True Colors. It was probably the thing that spoke to me the most in this presentation. But man, you could have gotten all of this across in a much shorter trailer. The final thing they show is a trailer for something so Final Fantasy it stings. I assume it's Final Fantasy 16 or something. Okay. Final Fantasy Origin. From what I can tell, this is a side story based on Final Fantasy 1, and this was probably the biggest announcement of the show for the general Square Enix audience. I've seen a lot of mixed opinions on this one online. I don't think it's necessarily what people were looking for, but for what it is, it looks pretty good. Well, that stunk. The absolute worst thing about this presentation, by far, was the pacing. It was abysmal. And even outside of that, some of what they announced was just straight up baffling. Why focus on so many mobile games? Why spend 20 minutes on Guardians of the Galaxy? Why not bring the Final Fantasy remasters to anything but Steam and mobile? Life is Strange, Babylon's Fall, and Guardians of the Galaxy do look like fantastic games, but I don't care. They weren't nearly enough to save this presentation for me. Finally, after over a year and a half of barely any traditional announcements, Nintendo ended off E3 with their Nintendo Direct. I have missed saying those two words in the context of June. Now, in terms of predictions, I could be here for hours, but I really tried to only anticipate Breath of the Wild 2 and Smash Brothers, because realistically, they were the only things that were a guarantee. But I swear to God, if they don't reveal a new Chibi Robo, I will eat 10 Switch cartridges! This thing had no right being this good. Where the hell did that come from? Let's try and calm down here. Nintendo held their E3 Direct on Tuesday, June 15th, and this was the second Direct of 2021. And after a 2020 with 0 Directs, yeah, that was nice. The show opened up with the trailer for... Wait a minute, is that Ganon? Is this Breath of the Wild 2?
Battle.
Damn it! Kazuya from the Tekken series is joining the fight, and my only takeaway is that dear lord this man likes to slaughter. I'm not into Tekken, so I'm not all too excited for this, but hey, they didn't linger too long because there's gonna be a dedicated presentation soon, which is always good to see. Life is Strange Remastered Collection and Life is Strange True Colors coming to the Switch. Hell yes! This was one of the things that interested me the most in Square Enix's show, and this was definitive proof to me that you don't need a 6-minute trailer for these games. Super cool that they're on Switch. I might have to give these guys a go someday. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming to Switch. What? This was not a game I ever imagined running on Switch, so this was such a great thing to see. Oh wait, it's a cloud version. Worms Rumble. Good for the fans. Astria Ascending. Good for the fans. 2 Point Campus. Good for the fans. Now this image right here made me think, the monkey is back, bitch! But it turned out to be Monkey Ball. So I wasn't wrong. I mean, come on. Look at this and tell me that this doesn't look like it's about to announce Donkey Kong. Anyway, Monkey Ball is back, bitch! Monkey Ball Banana Mania. A remastered collection of the first 3 Monkey Ball games, and unlike Banana Blitz HD, this game looks great! Mario Party Superstars. It's Mario Party the Top 100. But good! This game is basically a best of the N64 Mario Party collection, with remastered maps, returning mini-games, and good lord am I excited for this. The online play added to Super Mario Party earlier this year is back in full swing, which is probably the best feature going into this game. I think I would have personally preferred Super Mario Party 2, but good god, this game looks like a blast. Alright, Shinya Takahashi is back. Wonder what he has to say. What? What? Yes! 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 Holy shit! Metroid is back! Metroid Dread is real and it's coming out this year! This is the best! That was the thing I expected to see the absolute least of any of the potential announcements. I never saw this coming, and yet it did! And it comes out later this year, and it looks incredible! The gameplay we were shown between the trailer and the treehouse looks like a goddamn horror movie, and I am all for it. The gameplay looks to be a massive evolution of what we saw in Samus Returns, and this is the first HD Metroid game ever. So is it any surprise that it's absolutely fucking gorgeous? This was my favourite announcement of the Direct, and I have no shame in saying that. But for the love of God, please. This game needs to sell well. Whew, now what's the definitive thing to follow up an announcement like that with? Just Dance 2022, of course. Cruise and Blast, of course. Fuck you, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is coming to Switch. Good for the fans. A new Mario Golf Super Rush trailer. This game comes out a week and a half after the Direct, and because of that, I didn't care. They announced free updates with new courses and characters, and after Mario Tennis Aces, this was the least surprising thing ever. Monster Hunter Stories 2 gets a new trailer, and man, I really like the world design shown here. It's really nice to look at. But I don't want to play it.
It's me, Wario!
Garlic Man makes his return! A new WarioWare game, hell yes! Get It Together is the subtitle, and this game looks like a blast. We're finally getting a traditional mainline WarioWare game, and I can't wait to play it. I think the Switch's controllers yield a lot of potential for WarioWare, and the new mechanic of the entire WarioWare cast getting in on the fun looks incredible. I'm really interested to see more, and the game got a solid release date of September 10th, which means I won't have to wait too long. I love that. Next we have a longer trailer for Shin Megami Tensei 5, which was leaked before the presentation. Whoops. This was the only thing in Nintendo's presentation that outstayed its welcome, but the game looks pretty interesting, so that's gotta count for something. Danganronpa on Switch. This was actually a pretty cool announcement, but as someone who personally has no affinity for this series, good for the fans. Project Zero Maiden of Blackwater. Yes! This is another Wii U port, and from what I've seen and heard, this is a fantastic horror game published by Nintendo. I've been wanting to play this thing for forever, but... okay, maybe I haven't wanted to play it that much. I'm super excited that this game is making its way over to the Switch, with some new stuff in there too. Neato. Doom Eternal DLC. Now, I haven't played either of the new Doom games yet, so this announcement doesn't really speak to me. But say it with me now. Good for the fans. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 on the Switch. I've never played these games either, so neat. I might have to finally give these suckers a go. Strange Brigade. Good for the fans. Another trailer for Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Doesn't show anything new, but it was pretty short, so I'm not offended by it being here. I expected it to be shown for much longer actually, so fine by me. Kirby? Oh, it's Advance Wars. Jesus. I'm really happy to see this, actually. Advance Wars has kind of been rotting on the GBA for over a decade now, so it's great to finally see it make a comeback. We finally get to see the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC pack, and it looks pretty good. Nice to see the Hylian cycle be part of 2 separate Zelda DLCs. I'm still not sure if I'm fully sold on this yet. On the one hand, I really want to support this game and play it more because I absolutely adore it. But at the same time, I don't really know if the DLC is adding enough to fully satisfy me. I don't know. But this is what we've all been waiting for. We're finally getting a look at The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Great. Okay, now it's time to finally get a look at The Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. God fucking damn it, I want that stupid thing so badly. I'm a bitch. Now it's finally time to see The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. And holy fucking shit, this game looks amazing! God damn it! Yeah, for some reason I was still holding out hope that this game would hit in 2021, but it's understandable. I mean, we didn't really get to see too much of it from this trailer, so it makes sense. But from what we did see... they're using the same map, which kinda blows, but most of the game seems to take place above Hyrule, in a gorgeous set of islands that I have no doubt are more expansive than what we've seen. Link's going for a new look, and he has a shitload of new abilities that look like they're going to be an absolute blast to utilize. There are a few elements of the trailer that left something to be desired, but that does not at all detract from how fantastic this game looks. Now, I was kind of hoping for a one last thing here, but no. So that was Nintendo's E3 Direct. Even if they only brought Breath of the Wild 2, it would have been up there compared to the rest of this year's shows. But because of this, and this, Nintendo wins by a landslide. My only complaint with this Direct was that Aonuma confirmed that there would be no other Zelda releases for the 35th anniversary outside of Skyward Sword, which is a major bummer. The least they could have done was port the Wii U remasters, but nope. That news absolutely blew, but it does not take away from how fantastic this presentation was. I think that was worth the 2-year wait. Square Enix may have blew, but Ubisoft and Microsoft did a really good job, and Nintendo blew everyone out of the fucking water. And after a year with nothing like this to get excited about, it feels so damn good to have E3 back. Everybody brought their A game this year, apart from Square Enix, and most of these presentations were better than what these companies had to offer in the previous few years that have had E3s. Again, apart from Square Enix. So overall, if you ask me, E3 2021 was really damn good, and I am so happy to finally have it back. Wait a minute. They didn't reveal a new Chibi Robo game, did they? Well, we might as well make a meal out of it. Bon appetit!